And we're live.
Oh my God. I don't know. Is this live? There might be a delay. Are we going to account for the delay?
It's pretty live. I mean, I think it's okay. I mean, we only gave people 30 seconds to get onto the stream and we didn't tweet about it at all. So we should probably tweet that out to
Tweet
the
out like
people.
live stream. Well,
We're live
welcome
right now.
everyone who did make it. It's kind of creepy seeing you, James, if I'm honest. When we first started recording the podcast, we did this, but we don't do it anymore because I don't know why, but this should be fun.
Well, we use StreamYard for a lot of our .NET Live initiatives, stuff that you see on the Visual Studio chat, which is really cool. And what's nice about that is that this is sort of a drop-in solution. Like, you've been live streaming on Twitch under Frank Krueger, and you have your OBS set up, and you have all this crazy stuff, right? But for StreamYard, like, I'm just like, here's a link, and then you're done. So
yeah, it's one of those really clever web apps that's doing something you didn't expect web apps would be good at. I mean, it seems to be like a whole production studio. We should just do an hour-long commercial on StreamYard, but it is impressive. But I guess in my mind, I'm thinking of it as like Generation 2 video conferencing software. Like Zoom has been leading throughout the pandemic, and now it's time for the next generation to see what lessons we've learned and how we can improve the UIs.
I think so. Yeah, I've been super impressed with this whole setup with StreamYard. It makes it like, before we were doing everything in person in the studio, and like we had a whole setup and stream decks and all this stuff, right? And that was awesome. But here, for example, like, look at this: Pi Bog, Bogan Pierce, love Frank's maker scene. Look at that. I can just highlight it, right? I'm just like, boom, here it is, and it is a beautiful makerspace. We'll do minimal.
Yeah,
Ooh, that's better.
This is definitely a quarantine space. If I'm going to be trapped inside all day, I'm going to make it fun. Gosh darn it.
Looks good. I got some artwork, and I turned on the fan accidentally, and then my little things went zipping around. I was like, oh no. So that's a mistake.
No, you have the good looking organized place. I have the chaotic mess that is my life.
Yeah, no, you're wonderful in every single way. But yeah, no, this is super awesome, because maybe we will start doing this again. I just paid for a full year service of StreamYard. So it's cheap. It's like $200.
So I see, you paid for it, so now I have to do a bunch of video calls and look at my hair in a video screen, which I cut myself, so it's not the worst. You've got a very 60s, Beatles kind of thing going on.
I got that this weekend. People said that with like, some Paul McCartney Beatles stuff going on there. I don't know. I said I'm not going to cut my hair until the end of quarantine, and whenever I get a vaccine, so that might be another 4 years. So who knows? I mean, not that I don't want one, by the way. It's just like, I don't know when they'll generally be available. So
I hadn't seen this one friend of mine in months, and he had hair past his shoulders. It was just ridiculous. It was like flowing locks of hair. I'm like, my God, what have we all done in this quarantine? But I just chopped mine off. It felt so good to just be done with it.
You're back here to like sort of the classic Krueger, because you got this. It looks good. It looks great.
Actually, the beard's getting a little long. I think I'm going to keep it a trimmed beard this time, because the last one I look at, the fun part of cutting your hair is looking at old photos of yourself. And my gosh, I really let myself go. But that was fun because it's a pandemic. Who cares?
It is true. Yeah. And no one knows. But now we have the ability that everybody could see us. They can hear us all the time at mergeconflict.fm. Look at that banner I just put up. Ooh, wow. So good
software this is. How much did you pay?
Well, it's free. Surprisingly, it's free. But if I wanted, this is the default background. And then if you don't pay, you have to have this logo on. Not bad, actually. This would be like free.
Fine.
No, not bad.
It's surprising how many YouTube videos that I watch have the encoder software watermark on them. Like, I'm gonna like and subscribe just so you can afford your encoder software.
Exactly. Yeah, we got some regulars, Aiden and Alex, up in the chat. Hey, everyone. I also this is my favorite part. I can just highlight people. I did just get on my normal streams. I got this whole thing working, but yeah, it's pretty nice. Pretty good software.
I was in the wrong tab. It's good to see everyone there. Oh, Pierce is here. My goodness. Everyone's here. How fun.
Everyone's here. It's happening. And so we're going to record a podcast today. That's what we're going to do.
Oh, well, this isn't the podcast.
No. I haven't started recording in Zencaster yet.
was feeling a little bit bad for us talking about our hair on the podcast.
No. It's good. It's good. I mean, everyone's here. Harrison's here. Sparky's here. I like people are coming in. I love that I can see. You never see avatars on Twitch, and this is cool that you see their avatar.
I kind of wish Twitch had this because this is so much better.
There's a service I use. It's called I think Live Chat or something .chat. One of the live coders made a cool app, and what I did is I put a tab into OBS, and I can kind of do the same thing. It's not quite as good as this, where I was like, oh, this person's from Italy. Like, oh, cool. Love your podcast. We love you. That's awesome. Harrison says doesn't have the hair to grow out. That's what people are like. Hey, you should take advantage of it if you can grow it.
I was worried about that myself.
It's looking good. I always, it's right here. I always.
Oh no, it's the back. I just don't turn it. You're not allowed to see the back of my head.
My hair is.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
It's going good. So, okay. So we're gonna record a podcast on our lunch break here, which is exciting. It's the best way to spend my podcast with my good friend Frank Kruger.
Yes, sir. Well, we normally leave these things to Sunday nights, and it's not tenable, sir. So this is much better.
I was excited because I was about to ping you yesterday. I was like, oh, I was actually on the Zencastr. I was like, maybe he's going to join, but then I was like, no. I remember I told him we're going to do an Apple podcast.
Me not to come on Monday.
Don't come.
All the weeks you've left me hanging, and this time you told me not to come.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, this is perfect. I love the opportunity, even though it's episode 220. 221 we'll do lightning talks because
were we off schedule the last time too for the lightning talks? Did we do that on a 211?
Probably.
We've screwed up numbers, off by one errors everywhere.
I'm very still knocking on wood. I have not missed a Monday yet, which is awesome because I literally I was finishing publishing the podcast at 11 p.m. Sunday night.
It was 11
week.
p.m. Yeah.
I was like, oh my goodness. So yeah,
I love that we haven't missed a week though. As much as I make fun of it and everything, it's a pretty great accomplishment. Not to toot our own horns, but I'm pretty happy about that.
I think we did amazing. Look at that. Yep. StreamYard for interviews all the way. Yeah, we don't get alerts or anything, which is obviously because it's not built in. But I'm good. I was just I was talking to Brent from Twilio, and I said he was building this whole thing. I was like, just use StreamYard for everything. You don't need anything, just use StreamYard. And he's like, no, I need everything custom. So okay, but this is perfect for interview style show. And in fact, even Mads Christensen, he does a live coding show on Friday from StreamYard. He's been building.
I've not seen that.
He's been building Visual Studio extensions live and doing code reviews live. And I produce his show. So he joins as a guest and I'm behind the scenes, which is kind of cool.
You're in the show business.
And it's fun too, because he'll be like, James, can you go to my computer? You know what I mean? Like doing the switch. That
sounds wonderful. I need to see his show.
Yeah, Sam, they're going to be actually doing. So Sam says, talking about StreamYard, which is the software you're using. He says the lack of Stream Deck and configuration kind of stinks, but convenient to bring tons on guests. So you can do 10 guests at once, but actually they're going to be doing keyboard shortcuts soon, which means you could map those keyboard shortcuts to your Stream Deck. Yeah.
Hackers.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't it it's an anniversary for the Hackers movie?
Is it really?
I think
what a great movie. One of my favorites of all time. And in fact, it's the 10-year anniversary of the iPad.
They brought that up.
Yeah.
It felt good. I kept saying 2010 was a great year, but I'll save it for the show.
It's a good year. Let's record this thing. So if anyone's hanging out in the chat, you can ask questions. We'll try to answer them at the end. We're going to do our normal podcast. We're going to sort of, I guess, ignore the chat, but not really. We'll watch it. So sometimes when you influence the chat, we've done this before where we bring in sort of topics as you go. But what do you think, Frank? Maybe just I sent you show notes.
Yeah, your notes were so much better than mine. I took notes also, but my notes are just iPad specs. I didn't write down anything else.
I did a lot on the watch.
Which part I found most interesting in all of this.
Watch.
Let me get your notes. I know you're the Apple fanboy now. It's so awkward.
Isn't it weird? Oh, I can't wait until talk about all the services.
Oh, look at the screen that you chose. Of all the screenshots, that's the one you chose.
I did. I chose the Apple one.
The pricing.
typing
Apple
in.
one, capital one, because I even misheard you there. Not
Yes,
good marketing.
not to be confused with one. Yeah.
The word.
Okay, let's see. Do we got echo? No, it's okay. You're good. Okay. I'm excited for this. My hair, I always hate my hair too. I don't know why. It's like I'm growing it out. Well, I'm going to do the Keanu.
Yeah. Oh.
Like I'm growing it all out. Yeah,
you're
yeah.
gonna go there. Okay.
Yeah, that's the plan.
That's where I was at. I cut off the Keanu.
Yeah, I'm going for the Keanu. We'll see if my hair participates in this scenario.
I'm going for a Point Break Keanu.
Oh my goodness. We were literally, what was I talking about last night? Oh, we were watching something and I said something about Keanu and some movie or whatever. And then I was like, oh yeah, like in Point Break. And the head was like, he wasn't in Point Break. I was like, yeah. And I pull up the artwork and he's like, oh, just, he was so young in Point Break. You know, yeah, he's like a little baby. So, all right, well, let's do this. Okay. I'm going to start the Zencaster recording and I don't know. I'll figure out how to introduce the show.
Should I be louder?
Should you be loud? I don't know. You're okay by me. Frank's
Hi, everyone. I'll just over talk and I'll just.
Oh, there you go.
I'll actually talk into the microphone. How about that?
There you go. Yeah, you could just talk. Or, you know, maybe I'm just talking loud. That's the only other thing is I have no control. Like, you know, that you give up some possibilities there. But there you go. That sounds good.
Zencaster normalizes it for the podcast too, right?
Yeah, that's why we're using that. And it reduces all the background noise and all the shit. Do you want to try to use your headphones or no? Or you're okay?
I'm okay to try if you're willing to risk the hardware change.
There's really not. Every once in a while, there's a mild echo, but usually not bad. Just keep it as is. That's fine.
I don't want to ruin our standards.
It's up to you, Frank.
Oh my god.
Is there Bluetooth?
This little that's like a champ.
Oh, I'm so worried. Oh, well, I guess hopefully it doesn't change your inputs.
You sound fine. How do I sound?
Okay. You sound great. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Wow, that's amazing. Apple technology at work. All right, here we go.
Bluetooth.
I'm going to Bluetooth technology. Yeah, I'll tell you before we start, I'll tell you a story. So I have my DTK and I've been trying to upgrade it to the latest Big Sur update because I wanted to give them some new feedback. They said they fixed some bugs that I reported. It took me an hour today to get it working. And I have my Logitech thing from my main computer. And I was like, okay, well, I only have one keyboard. So I have like a USB dongle so I can move my keyboard back and forth. And I paired a little Bluetooth mouse. So I did that. But it would go into the update, but it would refuse to update. It was like, you can't update. It's not possible. It's like not going to update. I'm reading all these forums. It's like, go into rescue mode and do this thing and do high security. The problem is when you go into the repair utility, Bluetooth isn't turned on. So like I had to then take this thing, plug it in. It was super annoying. I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yep. I keep one wire mouse and one wire keyboard around just for that.
Gotta have it.
Always swapping them. Yep.
Anyways. All right. Let's go ahead and count this down in 3, 2. Frank. It was Apple event day. 1 of 2 maybe this year. Are we getting another one later this year?
That's the big question because not to jump ahead or anything, but they didn't announce any iPhones. And that's usually a September thing. And they didn't do it. Not to start on a negative, but does make you wonder if there'll be an October event or no pandemic phones. I don't know.
It's really strange. I didn't know what to expect. They had a very curly Q, really cool animation for the promotion of the event. You know, we like to do these sort of recap events, give us your thoughts. And I'll tell you this much, even though we didn't get iPhones, I personally was stoked more on the length of this event because it was under an hour and 20 minutes. Perfect time frame.
Oh, I thought it's right at an hour. It felt like an hour. Yeah, you're right, because I remember the previous events were really feeling like marathons. When you get into that second hour, you're just like, what is going on? I was surprised, though, at the breakdown because we only had like 2 major sections, I would say. There was a little middle interstitial, but 2 major sections to this thing, and they were roughly half-hour apiece. Yeah,
Tim was sneaky, right? He said we're going to focus on watch and iPad. And then they snuck in services right in the middle.
Yeah.
Do little services here. And that's okay because Apple is becoming more of a services company. The I prefer them, Frank, to tie these services to these events than have a services event, because we all know what happens when there's a services event. Nobody wants that.
We get U2 albums. It's bad.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
bad.
Oh my gosh. I got an iPhone recently, and Heather and I are figuring out our iTunes and our Apple, and guess the one album that I own.
Do you
U2.
actually just have that one album sitting there?
All I have. It's the one. I was like, I can't understand. What I'm like, what? I don't even
What
buy
did they
anything. Still
what
there
they announced,
forever.
like 500 million installs or downloads of that album or something, because it's just pushed down to everyone.
And you get a U2 album.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do not need a services event. I completely agree with you. The service events usually kind of make me a little sad too and anxious, because no one likes a bill. I'm like, oh gosh, what's another monthly subscription thing I have to pay for? So I'm glad
True.
we kind of avoided that, but yet didn't avoid it. Anyway, we'll get to that, I'm sure.
We'll get to it because I'm about to give Apple even more money. Now, luckily enough, if you remember, I bought an Apple Watch Series 3 for myself, and Heather has one now too. She has a white one, I have a black one. And I've been enjoying it. Apple Watch Series 3. This is the 38 centimeter, 38, smallest one. They don't even make it anymore because now it's 40 and 44. So it used to be 38 and 42. We both own this one. I think it's the perfect size. I love it. Mostly for fitness, and that's it. I have no apps turned on besides a few, like, security notifications or whatever from a doorbell. But besides that, that's all I have. It's just fitness tracking. And we set up Heather's. It's working good. We've done some, back and forth fitness activities. I was really excited. And funnily enough, we were talking about getting a Apple Watch for her dad for Christmas. And I said, well, we should really get him the Series 5 because it has the new sensors and the fall detection. Not that he's old, but it's like, even I want the fall detection because I ride a bike. I could get hit by a car, right? And it doesn't know. But I wasn't.
I ride on one wheel, and I'm just I'm looking forward to them calling the police someday as I'm out on the one wheel. So
Exactly.
You don't just have to be old; you could be reckless also.
Exactly. Yeah. And for me, it was, when I got the Apple Watch, it was more of a trial. I didn't want to spend like $400 or $500 on a watch. I hate watches. I don't even wear a watch. Now I wear this one all the time, and I'm pretty happy. So they made some big announcements in the Apple Watch space. But even before we get to that, because again, Apple Watch, iPad, I want to visit Apple Park so much. I'm sucked in to the new cinematography. It's beautiful. I want to be there, Frank.
The giant glass donut toroid spaceship, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I kind of, back in the day, I used to joke with myself that once they finished building that building, maybe I'd apply for a job at Apple because I just wanted to work in that building. Yeah, don't bring that up. Life choices, all that kind of stuff. But, maybe in the future, every building will be a glass donut, and there'll be glass donuts everywhere. And we'll miss the days of concrete rocks in the middle of our cities.
I enjoy the center of that donut though, which was a very green space, really cool spheres. And I think I'm sucked into their presentation style. We talked about it in the WWDC because it was so long, all the keynotes, and they're so well produced. This one I really enjoyed. They did a little comedy in there. We saw our good friend, what's his name?
It's Apple. They always do comedy. I'm putting scare quotes up. Yeah, so it's more like dad jokes. But you're right. This year it was good. Actually, one of the videos actually made me laugh, so that was good.
I enjoyed it overall. So let's get into it. Apple Watch. We knew watchOS 7 was coming, and that's what they opened up with. There's sleep and hand washing, which I'm very excited for. I don't know how to wash my hands for 20 seconds, so Apple will tell me how to wash my hands correctly. Do you use your watch at night in a sleep situation? Because by the time it's 10 p.m., my watch only has 30% battery life left. So I don't know how Apple really wants me to. Do I have it? Do I slide the?
Yeah, exactly. Right into your wrist, hook the IV up, and now you're ready for bed. No, I don't do it just because I find it uncomfortable at night. I actually find the watch surprisingly comfortable. I just don't like it at night. I don't like devices, nothing in the bed, just me being an insomniac in the bed. That's all I like.
The bed is Frank time. It's Frank time, and that's it.
Yeah. But that's not to say like I wish I found it comfortable, because I'm such a narcissist. I would love all that data. I'd love to know how much I sleep or don't sleep in this case and all that kind of stuff. It would probably just make me sad seeing me wake up to go to the bathroom at 3 a.m. every night.
Well, what I'd be really fascinated on is obviously you burn less calories while you sleep, but you're still burning calories, and your Apple Watch tracks the calories just that you're naturally burning. So if you don't wake up and immediately put on your Apple Watch and you wear it all day, you're going to maybe not close that ring if you have a high level. So the sleeping, giving extra incentive and getting that data could help you close your rings. What I hope they don't do is introduce a sleep ring, and that'd be dirty if they did that. Because I already hate the 30-minute one because it's like, okay, I went on a 30-minute walk, but I wasn't strenuous enough in my walk, so I got to go for another hour walk to get it. So, anyways.
Yeah, I love computers. I love control algorithms. I love robotics. I love AI. I don't love Big Brother and robots telling me what to do. So it's just not a feature I like. I like when it was a game, when it was new, when it was a new game to play. I definitely did all that stuff, but games get old after a while.
Yeah. I'm trying to do they play a lot of good videos of how the Apple Watch has helped a lot of people. I myself, I'm attempting to monitor myself to, I don't know, just be healthier and make sure I am active, working from home all the time. It is a good sort of nice reminder, like, hey, you didn't move at all ever the day, right? Or you'd have sat in the chair for the last hour and haven't moved at all, So I think that is a little bit nicer, but yeah, I eventually will get over it.
I was raised in such a way that I don't need a device to give me more guilt. I can generate it myself forever. So not really an issue for me. I have a constant reminder of all that stuff in the background of my head.
Nice. Well, then maybe you don't need the brand new Series 6.
No, it's a cool watch because it has the oxygen sensor that I find really interesting. Now, I'm poo-pooing a lot of these features, but the truth is I love sensors, and a really nice use of my watch I found is while I'm hiking is to target our heart rate. Because that way you can kind of hike continuously, not really need to take stops or anything. And that just feels better. Like if I can just hit this heart rate that I know I can continue at forever, then the hike just goes so much better. So I love that use. I don't know what pulse oxygen numbers mean, but I'm sure like it'll be another number for me to monitor while hiking.
Yeah, I assume that you want the blood oxygen saturation reading to be high. Right? I don't really.
That sounds good. Oxygen's usually good.
There was
a doctor. Hopefully, the app just has a dial bad good. It'll tell you which one.
Well, it's like the heart rate sensor, right? I don't know what's low and what's high. In fact, Heather and I were trying to figure that out because hers is so dramatically different than me.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's weird.
I don't know how an app could do it because only through trial and error did I find the heart rate that like I could go forever at, literally 10 beats per minute more, and I would have to stop and take a break. So there was just this nice sweet spot.
Yeah. And I think for every single person is a little bit different. We're recording this live, so some people in the chat are saying like you want the high 90s, but then it's going to be different if you're working out versus walking versus like sitting, right? Or sleeping should be different. I don't know.
Oh, and Harrison, I'm not that healthy. I'm well into the hundreds while hiking.
That's what I'm on too. I think so. So I don't know, or maybe mine's lower and Heather's higher, but then she's in better shape than me, so I don't understand that. She also is different gender than me, so I'm imagining her body works different.
Size matters. Everything matters. The weather matters. Your mood matters.
Yeah.
Health is complicated.
They also announced that this puppy here will not only have the blood oxygen saturation, but also an altimeter, altimeter. That's cool.
So I think I have a Series 5. And if I'm using my memory brains correctly, I think it has GPS or some form of that. So I think it could do some form of altitude before, but this must be some kind of dedicated hardware for them to like call it out like this. Because we've had barometers, I think, forever. And you could do these relative changes. That's how it knows if you're going up and down steps and all that. But an altimeter is a bit of a different beast. I'm curious what the actual mechanics are of it.
Yeah, because it definitely, like when I'm out hiking, it'll tell you the elevation gain to and from. I think the difference here is that this one's always on. So it must have dedicated stuff because obviously you're right, the GPS is telling me my ups and downs. I'm assuming it's tracking something. Like my phone can do it too, but this one's always on. So they must have dedicated hardware, like you're saying. So I think that's really cool, especially if you're a hiker, and you're going out. And I think the combination that they showed, why these two things together are important, because they showed a video of a lady climbing a really, really high mountain or something, checking her blood oxygen level and the altimeter, so she could see I'm at 9,000 feet elevation, which is high, and my blood oxygen is at 80. Because you've hiked, Frank, you've passed out basically, and you Kilimanjaro'd and you attempted Rainier. So these things are important for you.
Oh, they are, but I hope she wasn't like hanging on. I don't remember this part. Was she hanging onto the cliff when she was looking at this data? Usually I'm strolling along over some rocks or something when I'm looking at this data. But
No.
yeah. All hikes become just dreadful, arduous walks up a giant hill.
Yeah.
So sometimes ignorance is bliss, but at other times, like I said, it's fun having all that data.
Yeah. How do you think new face watches, watch faces? Awesome, terrible, whatever. No one cares.
Some of them were attractive, but okay, I'm going to be a downer again, just for a quick minute, just real quick minute. Gosh, it makes me upset that we still can't write our own watch faces because Apple keeps saying how important watch faces are and how much people love to personalize their devices. And it's like, Apple, a real easy way to create a lot of watch faces. Let us sell some. Like, I think we've seen that people aren't so interested in paying for watch apps, except for like the big ones. There's quite a spread. You don't get the good long tail that you normally get in the App Store. But I have a feeling people would be paying for watch faces kind of without trouble, especially since we've been limited by whatever Apple designers give us for the year. So nothing against the Apple designers. I actually really like a lot of the watch faces. I use the watch. Good stuff there. But gosh darn it, let app developers make watch faces.
Well, if you notice, I believe that they have partnered up with a few select developers and enable them on a one-off to create watch faces, because they showed that there was a surfing app and there was also a app for healthcare providers that would link into their apps. I don't know if they looked like custom watches. I don't know if they were just complications or not, but they were quite different. I just have the activity one. I have one watch face. Heather has like 3. I have one. I just that's it. I'm using it wrong.
I limited myself to one because somehow I would manage to keep swapping between them accidentally, and I didn't want to keep doing that, so I deleted all the others. The way those screenshots read to me was that is the modular watch face with a giant complication in the middle. It's not a clever thing a surfing app could do. Imagine what a surfing app could do as a watch face. You can do cool things. Webcams. Who knows? Like show me a live feed of the ocean right now. How about that for a watch face?
That'd be cool.
Someday.
One day. Watch OS 5, 8, 9, 10, something like that.
Well, see, you're supposed to defend Android here and say I'm supposed to get an Android Wear one, but
I don't know what Android Wear is doing. And in fact, you could build your own watch faces, and I think that was one of the downfalls early on, because the battery life, the technology, it just wasn't there. So it was a little bit tricky. But yeah, I think the new watch faces are cool. It's cool to have more. I like the art one. That seems cool. But what I'm really stoked for is that they turned the Apple Park loop into a band. It happened. Like they're like, we're in a cylindrical thing. Let's make a solo loop. And now it's once, because that's my worst part of this app or the watch, is that the putting it on and figuring the little tiny hole to, put the little notch into, where this solo loop, I am so into. I think it's the coolest. This is Frank texted me after the thing. He was like, "This is a boring event." I said, "This is amazing because I got a whole new band. I can buy this band. I'm in. I want it. So cool." No?
Well, you are using the default band, and it's a good band. I like the default band, but that fold is really a pain. I hate that fold. So I've been using the 5-year-old Velcro band, which is amazing. It reminds me of the watch I wore when I was 5 years old. You Velcro it on and it's there and it feels great. So I love that one, but definitely the new bands are interesting. The Weave one, that really made me feel like a 5-year-old. I remember making like a macrame necklaces and things like that. and just weaving these little watch bands together.
Yeah, I thought they looked really cool. My problem will be that this one comes for free. The other ones you have to pay for. So I don't know if I'm going if they're cheap. If this new band loop, which is a solo, it's cool because you can just slide it on, slide it off, and it has cool technology in it. I think that's nifty. But yeah, they'll probably be expensive. So
real quick, going back to the watch faces, what did you think of the Memoji one?
Stupid.
Good, okay. Just wanted to make sure we're on the same page. No conflict there.
I will say, because the new family setup mode that they introduced later on, you can now create a Memoji from your watch. Now, I have an iPhone SE and the new one, and I don't have the depth sensor. So I had to like customize it, create it myself instead of like automatically do it for me. So mine looks stupid compared to that doesn't look correct. But I'm like, I don't know if I want a photo of myself on. I don't want my own Memoji on myself. I guess you could have friends Memo. Like I could have Frank on there.
That'd be more interesting. Like, you could have like me serving you something like, James, it's time to go for a run. James, it's time to stand up. James, I like this a lot. You should have me telling you to do all this stuff.
No. Okay. I refuse. All right. So family setup. This is actually really neato. If you have kids or you have some parents or grandparents, you want to buy them an Apple Watch. The new family setup enables you to set it up without the need for a phone. They can have their own SIM card in, so it can have its own dedicated phone number. There's parental controls, study time. You can get location alerts where your children are at, which I don't have children, but that seems cool. I want, if your kids are up to no good. But also there's a bunch of ways that kids can now get their activity tracked as well. And I wish I had that as a child. So I thought this new family setup, I need to look at it more with it, but I thought that was kind of neat. I don't know if I would, if we did get it for like Heather's dad, like we would just give it to him and maybe set it up for him when we're there and turn off all the notifications. Cause that's the worst part about the phone is all the notifications in the watch. But besides that, I thought that this was neat.
Yeah, it was a little reminder that we're in a pandemic and that families are having to do a lot of schooling at home and a lot of dealing with kids on devices with webcams and all that stuff. So there's a lot of new challenges out there. I don't have kids either. I don't have to deal with any of that. You all have my sympathies. So good luck with that. Hopefully the software update will help a little bit. And it's got to be insanity.
Oh yeah. And the coolest part, I think my number one, no, it's number two. This is my number two announcement of the entire event was the Apple Watch SE. It could go very nice with my iPhone SE. This is finally well, it's kind of weird because it's the in-between, which makes sense because it is like the iPhone SE, because you can buy an older iPhone 8 or the SE, which is better than the 8, or the iPhone 11 Pro, right? It's not the old model. It's the in-between model that will become old. But anyways, the Apple Watch SE, they did just like they did the iPhone SE, which is they used the same exact chipset, the S5. It has the latest motion sensors and fall detection built right in, and it starts at $279 with GPS compared to $399 for the Series 6. And of course, you can still buy the Series 3 for $199. So it is hard because I do like that this has the S5 chip. I like that it has the new sensors and fall detection. But if I was buying it, it's still hard for me to go in at $279 compared to like $179 that I got this for, like an extra $100. I'm back and forth on it, right? If they were like, you can't get Series 3 anymore, then obviously. But obviously for like Heather's dad, this would be perfect, right? I'm not going to get a Series 6. I don't need that, right? But for a Series SE, a swatch, if you will. I saw your tweet. That's funny. I think it's perfect. I think this is a beautiful device, and I'm very happy they did it. It's still a little high in price because I think it's a watch, and like I'm used to buying watches for like $10 and putting them on my wrist.
Yeah, but there's so much technology in there. Like I can honestly see both sides. Like in a lot of cases, Apple has inflated prices 100%. But I buy little chips and I glue together little chips and I solder them together. The costs add up very quickly. So you actually are getting a lot of bang for the buck at, I think, honestly, all these price points. There was a nice theme to everything today, which was trying to save you a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Because
nothing was over $400. Like they didn't announce anything over $400, I don't think.
I really appreciate that. That is a smart move on their part. So yeah, what's the difference between 280 and 200? It's a tough one. It
Yeah.
would have been easier if they just eliminated the Series 3. It's just making me think the Series 3 has become the iPad mini of the line.
No, the iPad 2.
Right, the
Remember? Oh
iPad
my
2.
gosh.
Yeah, just keep it around forever because it's just kind of a perfect price point and it's a perfect little device. Honestly, there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with the Series 3.
Uh,
So I did miss one thing though. Is
mhm.
the SE? What bezel is that? Is that the old style or the new style?
New hotness. It's the same exact thing.
Ooh,
It's just like the SE. I don't know if it has the. I have to imagine. I don't know if it has the thing where you can do the EKG. I'm imagining it does because
right.
it says it has all the latest sensors. So I think the only difference is that it doesn't have the new always on altimeter and then the new blood oxygen saturation reading from what I know, but I should go to
Okay,
apple.com/watch and actually look at this.
so that's a pretty good deal. Last year's model, which is an amazing device for $280. Got
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, maybe can I do compare? How do I compare devices on this Apple thing? Fall
uh,
detection, it's there.
mhm.
Waterproof. Their website's so big. Like everything's such a big scroll. There's
Yeah.
not a compare button on this thing. Why is there not a compare button? Oh, there it is. Compare. It has them facing each other. This is cool. The compare has all three. Okay, so 44 millimeter or 40 millimeter for both. Always on. Okay, so here's the difference. Series 6 always on Retina display. SE Retina display. It's the
Yeah.
same size, just one's always on. It does.
I was really excited for that always on screen because I found the watch turning on and off to be a little bit annoying, but in truth, it doesn't matter that much because
Yeah.
it comes fully on when you raise it to your hand anyway. So again, another win in the column for the SE.
Yeah, and then the SE does not have blood oxygen app, ECG, or the no, that's it. It just doesn't have those two things. It does have the always on altimeter, which that's
Yeah.
cool. So
Yeah.
cool.
Uh, I just feel silly because I felt like I always had an altimeter. So I'm
You
just
do, you do. It's just not always
I,
on. That's all.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to find some technical articles though. I am curious what the physical thing is.
yeah. So that's kind of cool. And they said it's available, this Friday, which is cool to get. And I was like, oh, are we gonna get the new updates?
Right.
For iPad, for WatchOS on Friday. No, we're getting them on the 16th, which we're recording this on the 15th. So on the 16th, we get it tomorrow.
Yeah, they kept saying that we'll have even more announcements tomorrow. I'm like, well, you could spend 10 more minutes and just tell us now. Nope, we're gonna wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, wait till tomorrow. That's when you can get it. But I'm excited for WatchOS 7. I'm excited for
Yeah.
the SE. I think overall, I'm happy with my watches. No.
Yeah, well, that's my question though, is I thought you were content with your watch. So this is purely as a gift, right? This wouldn't be an upgrade that you yourself are gonna do, but maybe as a gift, this would be a different device to get.
Yeah, that's correct. I would say I would get the SE as a gift. I still think that for Heather, I still would have bought her a Series 3
Mm.
because just so you would match up. I just don't.
Oh,
I mean, I just don't think that. I don't think that the extra 100 and because you can get the iPhone Series 3 for like $170. You can get it pretty cheap. So it's a 180, 110 to $120 difference. I just don't know if it's worth it, right?
right.
But if you were getting as a gift for somebody that needed those new sensors, then I think that like the fall detection. That's the thing I really want is the fall detection. Um,
Yeah.
but I would say if I bought this, here's the difference. If I had bought these watches a year ago, I would think about doing an Apple upgrade program. The problem is I just bought these watches 2 months ago.
Oh, I didn't realize that the watches had the update program. You can do that for the watch?
I mean, I would sell it on eBay. That's my upgrade update
Oh,
program.
that's okay. I'm sorry. Because there are the the phone ones where you can get a new
Yeah,
phone every year. I
yeah.
was like, can I get a new watch every year? That sounds tell me more about this update program.
Next year they'll
Yeah.
introduce that, I'm sure. Yeah.
No. I'm bad at reselling hardware though, so it's a sunk cost for me. I have to keep that in mind. No
Yeah,
update
that's true.
program for me.
Yeah. Like I will definitely, if they come out with a new iPhone SE, like I'll update to that from this one, sell this one for a few, kind of make it. But yeah, I think next year, if they do a refresh of the SE, I would probably upgrade.
Okay.
Or,
Yeah.
yeah.
I not to be
Maybe
They're not the most attractive devices on the planet, but I really like the new design.
the new
I'm
ones.
just saying, yeah,
Mm.
I love the new design. So you can join the new club at some point.
The problem is then there'll be like a new design, and then I'll actually still have the
Oh
old
God.
design.
They do that. They did that with the iPads. I have two wonderful iPad Pros at my disposal. It's more than a person could ever use. Why do you need two iPads? I almost said why do you need one iPad, but then you say why would you possibly need two? What would I do with a third? But they all look so old when Apple shows their cute 3D renderers and their little cute presentations and their glass donut with sweeping camera movements through a forest. Ugh, this company.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. They did put the watches in this 3D hologram
Oh my God.
augmented
It's
reality. I was like, that's so cool.
it's a little over the top. I think we're gonna look back at some of this and like the way we look back at Lawnmower Man and that kind of stuff. But for now it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
No
for now
shade.
it's cool.
No shade. No shade.
Are you ready for the actual number one thing that I'm most excited about?
That better not be a pun. That was a
No,
pun, wasn't it?
no. I'm the number one thing from this event that they announced.
I'm so
Apple
scared. What
Fitness
oh,
Plus.
jazzercise.
Okay. So,
No, it's gonna be good. No, let me start. Let me
okay,
start.
okay,
I was rolling my eyes the entire time,
okay.
but by the end of it, I was like, maybe I'll do this.
Mhm.
Because I have gained a lot of weight in my quarantine shutdown time, and I need to shed some of that weight. And I don't know if jazzercise is the right answer for me, but maybe it is. Maybe I should not mock it and do it. What do you have to say?
Okay, so there's Frank. Um, no, so here's the thing: is I've been going back and forth on investing in some sort of fitness program. I used to go to the gym. I no longer go to the gym. I have a Microsoft. We have like a Stay Fit credit that we can use. So I've purchased some different goods and use those like when I'm doing maintenance on my bikes and whatnot. That's nice and nifty. But membership at a gym is very expensive.
Turns out
The
that
one
first month is always cheap, though. I don't know how they do it.
they switch you over real fast, but you can pay $600-700 a year for a gym membership, and then you're never going to go because it's the gym. Now, I
That's
mostly do.
cheap in New York. That's like a month.
That's true. That's true. That's Seattle prices. So I've gone back and forth on getting like a Peloton bike or some other type of thing that's in that vein. But usually they are 10 to 15 bucks a month. Peloton service is 40 bucks a month on top of the bike. That's a gym membership. It's expensive. Apple comes out and they said, hey, do you have an Apple Watch? I don't know if it only works with the Apple Watch. I don't quite understand yet. But they said, we're going to introduce this new service. It says just for the Apple Watch. And it is 10 different exercises. And it's just like Peloton or anything like that, or any of those other ones where you can get on your phone, on your TV, or wherever you're at. It also overlays your rings and your tracking on the screen. That's brilliant. So there's some connection there with the app. And it's on demand. It doesn't feel like it's live. They're always on demand classes, and they have 10 different activities, I want to say. Let me see, Apple Fitness Plus, I want to say. But they obviously have bike riding. They have all the exercise, like they have cycling, they have HIIT, they have I don't know, a bunch of different studio workouts. I'd have to see. Their website's not very good because I'm on the newsroom. Who goes to the newsroom? Apple. Anyways, there's 10 different exercises with they've hired basically a bunch of people to pre-record fitness activities. So you can do indoor exercises, you can do like HIIT programs, you can do cycling programs, you can do elliptical, you can do treadmill training, things like that. But the idea is that there's a lot that don't need any equipment. There's yoga built in alone there. That's pretty good. Here's the kicker, Frank. Here's the kicker. It is $10 a month or $80 a year. But wait, Frank.
There's more.
Plus up to 5 family members for free. Apple killed it.
Where are the family gym memberships? Why don't you get to have 5 people free at the gym? Wouldn't that be nice?
You don't. You have to pay for them. You get a discounted rate to pay them more. in general. And I've definitely, we've done the, oh, do you want you want a member? That'll be $1,400. We'll give you $100 off. So to me, this is great because at $10 a year or a month and $80 a year. So $80, let me calculator this, 80 divided by 12, $6.66 a month. That's really cheap. I mean, that is a coffee and a half.
Sure. For a bunch of videos, pre-recorded videos, exercise videos that you can get on YouTube. But sure. It is, though, kind of a wonderful synergy of all the Apple stuff out there because, well, the setup they kept showing was you have it on your TV. So I assume you have an Apple TV and you have a watch that's doing all the censoring and measuring you. So you're doing your exercises on the TV, the watch data's are on your watch, and it's being projected on TV. Cool setup. They also showed doing it on your phone, but it definitely seemed like a multi-device kind of setup that they were promoting here. But it's funny how it brings everything together. It brings the TV, the watch, music. You can like set your playlist to it and it'll remember what playlist you use for the exercise. They said they're throwing in some AI stuff, which sounds, totally up my lane, but at the same time, I have no idea what they're going to do. Like, I'm afraid of what the robots will think about my health and what my watch is reporting to them. So for me, it seems like just a super advanced version of 1990s TV exercising.
Oh no, it totally is, and I approve of it only because as a individual that goes to a lot of spin classes, a spin class can be $20. Again, that is 3 months of the service for $20 to do one class in person. It's very different in person than even on Peloton. I would say my friend Jesse, I used his Peloton before. I really enjoyed it, but again, $40 a month to do live classes. And actually, when I go to the gym, they have a Peloton on demand station, which is a stationary bike with a big tablet on it that you can do pre-recorded stuff. And I do spin classes for the music, things like this. And individuals that are really into spin classes and different things, we do it for the music. And that's why they said, oh, you can download the playlist afterwards.
Right.
That's why.
I've seen that. It's almost like a club atmosphere inside the little biking studios. Yeah. Just steam coming off everyone instead of smoke effects. Yeah. That's pretty funny.
For me, though, I think that I will do the year membership because of the family plan. Because now it's really like $40 a year for us. And then Heather does yoga and she does the yoga videos, but it would be nice for it to connect to her watch. You know what I mean? That's the kicker because she can do a video and she can tell her watch she's doing yoga, but this is nice because it's there, it's over it, et cetera, right? And I think that is cool. And, I think, people are right where literally, in general, Peloton can be really expensive. And there's other e-trainers out there like Zwift and other things like that. But, that's sort of the one problem is it can be very expensive. So I think for anybody, $80 a year, this is just a great value. So I'm into it.
Yeah. And if nothing else, it's another guilt source to make me go exercise. Like, well, I'm paying for it. I better go exercise and the watch will probably start beeping at me more. It was actually the yoga one is the one that got me the most interested because that's one of the ones where I think when you do it yourself, at least speaking for myself, I tend to do a bad job when I do it all by myself and I'm not comparing myself against someone who's doing it properly and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But they also supported like free weights. So it's not all jazzercise. So there are some like good, proper basic stuff. And I appreciate those ones. It's a weird service, another offer. So let's see, I'm paying for iCloud, I'm paying for Apple TV, I'm paying for Apple Music, I'm paying for Apple Fitness Plus. Was there a plus in there?
There's a plus in there. That's correct. Because Apple Fitness is the app, right?
Right. Fitness Plus is all the videos. Okay, cool. That's a lot of services. What else? Is that it? Did I name all the Apple services?
Game arcade.
Oh, thing? Game arcade. Oh my gosh. There's so many of these things. So the funniest thing, and I didn't even realize this was coming, but if I was a smart money person, I would. They're going to have a bundle plan. Of course, they're going to have a bundle plan because they have all of these distinct services coming out. So this is a no-brainer, but it caught me off guard. Just because I'm such a bad business person. So basically, they finally said, "Look, we have all these services, and we don't want to keep sending you 50 different bills.
Mhm.
So let's unify it." And what's the best word for unification? The word one.
One.
Apple One.
Apple.
What's the hardest thing to Google for? The word one. But anyway, Apple One. Tell me about
Apple
it,
One.
James.
Yeah, this is fascinating because they have the core services which they consider TV, iCloud, arcade, and music, and they've decided to bundle those into a one-stop shop for individuals at $15 a month, or you can get family for $20 a month, so five more people. And then in some select countries, I don't know why that is, but that's what they said. You can get those four services. Now, each of these iCloud gets bigger, by the way. So that's the only thing that changes is iCloud goes up to 2 terabytes in this plan called Premier, which is $30 a month. And with that, you get the family. I'm imagining it's family. They didn't clarify, I don't think, but it comes with Apple News and Apple Fitness Plus as well.
Apple News, Apple News. That's the one I was
What did
forgetting.
I
I knew I
say?
was.
Apple News, yeah.
No, you said it right. When I was trying to remember all the services earlier, News is the one I didn't forget because I don't pay attention to Apple News. I know some people do like it though, so I think it has a following, but I just never got into it myself.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit scared now because I didn't realize they were upping the iCloud amount with each one. And I have no idea how much I'm giving Apple per month. I'm in that awkward place where I keep using the justification that I'm an app developer, so I should try these services kind of thing. The only
Mhm.
one I know for sure I'm not paying for, oh, actually, I'm not doing so bad. So I'm not paying for the arcade and I'm not paying for music. So I'm only paying for iCloud. Fascinating. Are you going to be a bundler?
Nope. And I'll tell you why, because I did get, when I bought my iPhone and I bought my Apple Watch, I did get 3 months for free of music and 3 months for free of news. I don't use those at all because I use YouTube Music because it's bundled into my YouTube Premium account, and I already pay, Google enough. I also have a year free of Apple TV, so I don't really need to bundle that in. The only service here, and then Apple News, I am using it, but I just use Google News, and I'm not really a news reader, right? Like it's not really my thing. Whereas here, if I'm paying $30 a month, that's going to be $360 a year, and the only thing I would really add on to there is going to be the Apple Fitness. So I'll just buy that separate. Like I don't use enough of these services there. I do play for the 200 gigabytes of iCloud storage for $3 a month. Again, so even there, I'm only at $3 a month plus six. I'm only at $10 a month. And that the $30 is too big of a difference in general.
Yeah, and I still pay for that service. I can't even remember what it's called, but it's $15 a year, where old timers like me that used to have MP3s and CDs, it uploaded them all up to the cloud, and you could listen to all your cloud
Yeah.
music. It's kind of defunct these days when you have YouTube Red or whatever the heck it's called now, and Apple Music and all the music things. But at the same time, for some reason, I'm still paying for it. I'm just realizing right now I should not be paying for that. I should get rid of that. Yeah.
iTunes Match. Yeah, that's what it is. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Gosh, I couldn't even remember the name.
The funny part is that Google Music, which started, that was what it was. It was before it was a streaming service. Google Music enabled me to upload all my music to it. And I just went through the migration of Google Music to YouTube Music, and YouTube Music's not as good as Google Music, by the way. It's not as terrible.
I keep clicking on the video. I don't want to watch the video. I want to listen to the music. It's called music.
It's the worst. Yeah, it's the worst. It's like, okay, YouTube, if I wanted to go watch a music video, I'd go to the YouTube app. But yeah, they're going to change it again because it's Google. They don't know what they're doing. But in general, I will say the Apple Music app is very nice. However, I already pay for YouTube and I get a service for free, right? And the thing is, I am literally paying every company about $10 a month. I pay Google, actually a lot more. I have the $100 a year for Google Drive, only for Google Photos because it's the best photo app. I'm lucky at work. I get Microsoft Office and OneDrive for free, but whatever. You're an MVP. You get it for free too. You get it for free. So, but I do use OneDrive for all my storage because that's my de facto. I like that one the best because I think OneDrive Sync is my favorite sync protocol. Um, and then I actually give Apple, obviously, a little bit for iCloud storage, and I will be giving them some money for Apple Fitness Plus. So I do give all of them, and not to mention, we all give Amazon money as well for Prime, which includes everything, by the way, that we just listed, because they give you everything in Prime, but no one uses anything besides the free shipping.
I love Amazon Music because they give you like 80%, just enough where you feel like maybe I should upgrade to their expensive music service, but they just have the wrong level because I've never felt the need to pay for their more expensive music service. If they don't have a song, if they won't play the song in my included Prime subscription, I'm just like, well, I just won't be hearing that song today.
But the problem is, we both have YouTube Premium because ads on YouTube I never want to watch in my life. And that includes YouTube Music, which, while it's not really great, it's also totally fine. It's totally great. It's totally whatever. It's not as good as other ones, but for free, I'm not going to pay for other things.
Yeah, I haven't noticed anything they don't have, so I don't know what my musical taste is. Yeah. It's like the Beatles, right? It's always the Beatles and Radiohead. It's like whether those two are on it.
Exactly, yeah. All right, so service is done. Let's get to the big one. We're getting a green iPad.
Do you mean the color or the environmentalism? I'm all confused already. What's the green one? Yes,
green.
they are.
It's both environmentally friendly and it's green. It's literally the color green, Frank.
Usually you bring up the pinks and the reds and the mauves when they add color to the iPads. But yeah, this is totally exciting. So what they're doing is, well, okay, so we got two iPads, right? And I kind of forgot that this line existed, the iPad Air, because for me, it's just been iPad and iPad Pros for so long. I wasn't I just the iPad Air, I just totally forgot about it. But it turns out they decided to add some love to the iPad Air and to the normal iPad, not the iPad 2. Thank goodness, no love for the iPad 2, but to the. It's so weird how the naming system goes because the iPad is way more modern than the iPad 2. Anyway, so we got for a mere $329, which when we're talking about those prices for the watches, this is a much bigger device, a huge piece of glass with a gorgeous giant screen on it. They're calling it the 8th generation iPad. So I guess that'd be iPad 8 kind of thing.
Yeah, iPad 8. Different from iPad Air. It's different. Different from iPad
Air.
Sorry.
These are two different things. We'll get to the iPad Air. Yeah. But this is the cool $330 one, which seems like a sweet spot for an iPad. If I was whatever. If I had gifts to give, if I had money to spend on people that I love, I'd be giving them this iPad.
Very true. Yeah, that is very, very nice. And I was talking to Craig Dunn and my friend Craig, and he was like, man, there's green iPad. I really want it. He's like, but I haven't had an iPad for so long. And I was like, yeah, I'm not a tablet in general person. So this section I wasn't as excited about, only because I'm definitely not a tablet person. I'm just not. It just doesn't fit into my life currently. And I don't know why that is, but for 10 years it hasn't.
Well, it's a good thing you have me because especially during this quarantine, I've really fallen in love with my iPad. It's basically the main device I use aside from my big computer that surrounds me and that I do most of my work on. The iPad is what I prefer to be on in the morning. When I'm just waking up, drinking coffee, I play on the iPad. When I'm done with work, I sit on the couch and play with the iPad. When I go to the park, I'll take an iPad. Oh, it's pathetic. Okay, never mind. But it was funny because I was looking over at my laptop, and I don't think I've touched my laptop since January. And yet both of my iPads, if you can believe that, why would anyone need two iPads? I use both constantly because they're portable and I move them from place to place and they serve different roles. Sometimes it's a kitchen iPad, sometimes whatever, living room iPad. So all that's to say, I was excited for this section.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I do have a Surface Go and I don't really use it that much. I do enjoy it, but again, using a Windows device versus an iPad, even though it's iPad OS and has more dual screen split capabilities, it's still sort of single app use case. You know, if I want Gmail, I got to open a browser, go to Gmail, whereas an iPad, I could just tap on that and go to it. It's a hard sell for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe now that I have an iPhone, though, maybe, and an Apple Watch, maybe,
Gotta get the trifecta. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I wasn't expecting this. I didn't read any articles or anything before this event.
Me either.
And they had just released new iPad Pros back in whatever the before times. No, I think it was during the dark times, but
Yeah.
at some point they were released. And they were a pretty minor upgrade. What they added was the LiDAR sensor to the and that is the feature that, as an app developer, I've been the most curious about because it hits into all the fields I'm interested in: hardware, robotics, cameras, sensing the environment, all that kind of stuff. That new sensor can really do interesting things. So, knowing nothing about this event, I was expecting and hoping for a LiDAR iPhone, which did not come. And then they announced two iPads, which do not have LiDAR either, which made me sad. But that is going back to what ended up being the actual theme tonight of practical devices. No one needs a LiDAR. These are really good performance upgrades and hardware upgrades at good price points. So that's what this week or today was all about. No LiDAR, sadly, for me to play with. But at the same time, my wallet is super happy that I'm not paying for a $1,200 iPhone right now.
It's true. Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, the new iPad Air, that is the one that was over 400. It starts at 600, but it has, a new Touch ID on top, which is kind of cool. It's the first time the Touch ID has been reintroduced. I guess it's on the MacBook Pro. However, that is a square. This one is the first time it's not a circular square. It's a rectangle with bevels on the side of it. So that's kind of cool. But I think more importantly, what's nice about this iPad Air is this brand new A14 Bionic chip, which is
right.
the first time in history, according to them, it's a 5 nanometer processor, 11.8 billion transistors, Frank.
So when I started college, I started out in a program called Microelectronic Engineering, and you study how to build microprocessors. That's what you do. I dropped out of that program because microelectronic engineering is terrible, but I learned a lot in my short time in that program, and I hung out with all those people, and we had a fab in my school. It was a lot of fun. Anyway, we got into endless lectures about just how small can you make a transistor before basically physics breaks down. It stops being a transistor because it's so small. The electrical effects you're looking for can't be established, therefore it doesn't work. And we would joke. We would say, yeah, somewhere around 5 nanometers, 4 nanometers, 3, some ballpark, somewhere around these numbers. And I'm just like dying in my head thinking back to those conversations where, I mean, we had projections saying that we would be down to like 5 nanometers somewhere in the 2020s. It's a little bit early, I think, which is good for sure. But at the same time, my mind's just boggling. I did the math. This is really rough math. The numbers are going to be a little bit off, but that's approximately 15 atoms wide.
Yes.
That is how wide the gate is on the 15 atoms. The smallest thing in the universe. Yeah, there's constituent parts of the atom, but who cares? It's atomic. We use the word atomic for a meaning. Only 15 atomic units are comprising this transistor. The engineer in me loves it so much.
It is really cool. I'm pretty just jazzed, and they're doing a great job with their processors. It's new architectures for their CPUs and their GPUs, and they say it's faster and 40% more transistors. And I like more transistors. Don't you like more transistors?
Well, as long as they're doing machine learning, yes, I do.
I think that was a big part of it, is they did show a bunch of really cool developer videos of some of the stuff that they teamed up with to do more intense graphics and machine learning. The one that I was surprised on that I thought you would have done was this developer that would take an image and like zoom in and then do the woof, 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 and enhance enhance. And I was like, this is a Frank Krueger thing. Why is he not on here?
Yeah, I presented this at our meetup. Like, God, it feels like generations ago. Who knows
Yeah.
how long it's been since then? It's really cool because you don't go to 5 nanometers for no reason. You do it
Mhm.
because we want these devices with all this power to last for 10 hours or whatever its rated battery it is. And Apple, to their credit, have really been steadfast in keeping that kind of all-day battery life out of a charge on these
Yeah.
devices. I have a 12, 13-inch, whatever iPad Pro that I don't think actually lasts 10 hours. But other than that, like they've been really good at keeping that promise. And so you have to keep knocking down the transistor size because at 15 atoms, you can't put much power through it. So you use less power, less need for cooling, all that good stuff. I really debate whether I like to see those. When they say those transistor counts, I always wonder if they're including memory because hopefully we're getting
Yeah.
memory upgrades too. So
Mhm.
where can transistors go? Transistors can go to your RAM. They can go to your CPUs, of which there are many cores on this thing. They can go
Mhm.
to your GPUs now. These are GPU power devices. And now they can go to the neural engine. So it's funny to see where those 11, what did you say, billion, trillion, bazillion
11.8 billion transistors.
yeah, I'm curious what the distribution is across all those cores and things, but just as a technologist, I don't care. It's great.
Yeah.
Back in the day, people used to like release cool. Actually, Apple used to do this, show a picture of the silicon wafer, so you could actually
Mm.
see a little bit of the layout of the chip. I wish they would keep doing that when they made these amazing new chips.
Yeah, that'd be really neat. Uh, I'm excited for it. Although I'm not going to get an iPad. I'm good. I think I'm good. I think I'm not going to go all in, but I think that I'm really excited about the 8th generation. Feels like a great update for the 329. Again, like you
It's
said,
a
this is
good
a cool
price.
event. Good prices on things, and we get major OS updates on the 16th. So it's happening. We're getting iOS 14. They mentioned they did talk about iPhone for just 10 seconds. They said you're getting iOS 14 with app groups and other widgets and things. It's happening. WatchOS 7 is coming out. iPad OS 14 is coming out. It's the same as iOS. Spoiler alert.
No,
So
no, well, yeah, okay, it's the same, but it does have the cool feature of if you have an Apple Pencil, you can finally scribble into any
mm,
text field, which is nice.
yeah.
It's one of those little things that you realize, gosh, I wish I was able to do this the whole time. So as
Mhm,
app developers out there, chances are your app is going to be just fine. But if you
yeah.
have the opportunity to get an Apple Pencil on iOS 14, give it a shot because with scroll views and things like that, you never know
Mhm.
how things are going to go, but try to
Yeah.
scribble into all your fields. That feature, I think, is worth the update. Everyone will update, though. Thank goodness it's Apple.
Yeah. And that's it. No new iPhones, no Mac OS updates.
Nothing, nothing.
Not
I
happening.
was sad. Like, yeah, maybe there'll be an event in October. It's
Wow.
Apple's events. They can schedule them whenever they want. Obviously, people show up to them. So, and even
Sure.
nowadays, people don't even have to fly there, so they can really do it. I don't know though. It was a pretty minor event, I would say. It turns out,
Yeah.
but um, good. I just want to keep calling it like the pandemic event. Like it was pandemic size. It's kind of what we were expecting for a pandemic event.
Well, and you want to space it out a little bit. You don't want to announce they have a lot of products. You don't want to announce everything all at once. And additionally, manufacturing. I don't know what their manufacturing pipeline looks like because there was a slowdown. What's the delay? Maybe they need an extra month for manufacturing, and that makes sense. They got to pump out so many iPhones, right? And then how many people are going to update to the new iPhone? They got to think about it. Also, Google's supposed to have an event at the end of this month, releasing a new Pixel 5 or whatever that they're going to do. And they might have like a SE edition of it. So who knows what they're going to do. But I think it was a good event. And I think it's a good place to add the podcast. What do you think about that, Frank?
Sounds good to me.
All right.
I'm curious when the next one will be, but I'm sure we'll do it live again. This was a new fun experience actually seeing you across the way. So
Yes.
fun little experiment for us.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for this week's Merge Conflict. Let us know what you think by going to mergeconflict.fm. Are you going to buy a new Apple Watch? Are you going to buy a new iPad? Were you disappointed there was no new iPhones? Who knows? Everybody will know. When do you think the next event will be? We'll take bets on it and see. Head over there. You can follow us on Twitter at mergeconflictfm. You can, of course, follow both of us at James Montemagno and Proclarum. Of course, go everywhere mergeconflict.fm to find all the goodies. And we'll stream live on my personal Twitch because I love those followers at twitch.tv/James Montemagno. You can also find Frank on Twitch at twitch.tv/Frank Kruger. We'll have these available as well. But of course, you can subscribe to the podcast and tell your friends about it. We appreciate that. So that's going to do it for this week's pod. So until next week, I'm James Montemagno.
And I'm Frank Kruger. Thanks for listening.
Peace. There we go. All right, we're still live on the Twitch, but we were actually recording separate, so just everyone's
now we can get back to everyone. I felt bad.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to type back to anyone.
I tried to just a little bit when we had a spam bot, but that was about it. So
yeah. I'm slightly happy that the LiDAR was delayed because part of me still wants to go out, buy an expensive iPad, write the flicker for 3D photos, and have that ready by the time the phone gets the LiDAR camera.
Out. Yeah.
I want to have the flicker of 3D.
Yeah. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm super happy with this event. I think that you're right. We're in the middle of still a global pandemic, releasing and updating, stuff that's really, really expensive. I think their focus on the SE watch was really good. The lower price point. So I think overall it's good. A lot of people seem to like this doing this live. So we'll definitely try to do this in the future. So
yeah, James McMenamin. Yeah. Yep. I'm a 3D printer person also. So 100%. I'm there with you. So. Photogrammetry has gotten so good these days. I didn't see this LiDAR thing coming. It'll be so cool. You can scan your Diet Coke can 3D printed.
I was watching a Hulu, and I saw this commercial for like Home Depot, but in their app you can like scan. They were like, their example was scanning an outlet. That you're like, I need to replace my outlet. It was like scanning an outlet. It would find the correct thing for you. It'd be like to check if you needed.
Clever.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
I don't know how. I don't know if it works on everything, but I did think that was cool because imagine if it was like, oh, this one needs a GFI, whatever.
Yeah. But like there's the McMaster catalog. Do you know who McMaster is?
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing like construction or something, it's just who you go to get all your stuff. People like them because they have an amazing catalog and they have an amazing online catalog, and their amazing online catalog has 3D parts for pretty much every part they have. So if you could find a way to compress that into a database that is searchable, then you could have a really cool app to help you identify parts just by scanning them.
Be like that. In fact, and again, you can get all sorts of different data. So I think that's,
yeah.
I don't know, it's neat. I'm excited. The future.
I thought I'd have a LiDAR phone by the end of this. Too bad.
Nope. No LiDAR for you. I just like swapping these around. Oh my goodness. I know. Well, thanks everyone for hanging out. I have to go eat lunch and go back to work. So this was my lunch break. So I got to eat. Now I'm in the eat and work, but my Apple Watch has been recording. Oh my, only 4 hours of standing time. That doesn't sound good. I've been standing this whole time. It's
better than I'm doing.
It's more than just standing, right? It's actually standing and moving. It's not just standing in general. So
is that a custom one or is that the normal Apple one?
This?
Yeah, the tracker.
Oh no, just normal.
The Apple
one. I don't use any third-party applications. No.
That's what I said.
So I'm all about whatever's built in, right? Again, I don't need Peloton to see how out of shape I am.
Exactly.
I'm really excited about the fitness app stuff.
Yeah. I hope I wasn't too negative. That a lot of that was just tongue in cheek.
No, I think you're right. Even about the yoga stuff. Like, I think we do like yoga with Adriana, like online. She's like this awesome stuff on YouTube, but a lot of stuff's really advanced. So I'm hoping that they can like just have filters where I want like really beginner yoga stuff. Cause I have a bad back and yoga's supposed to help.
Stuff. No.
Like
4 or 5 opening positions. Those are fine.
Well, that's the thing is like Heather will do those, but she's got advanced yoga. I can't move. I'm old and I'm just frail. And so
it's the one thing I miss from Queen Anne.
Yeah. Well, looks like people enjoyed this. I'm glad everyone seems to like this. We had a lot of people watching.
I love having a chat room.
Yeah.
I love chat rooms.
It's good. It's a good app behind the scenes. I need to do a video on StreamYard. So, but
cool.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. We're going to end the stream now. Thanks for hanging out. I'll talk to
Real
all
fun.
y'all later. Thanks for. Make sure you can hit that
Thanks.
follow button. Make sure you get notified. Also, Frank will post a link for Frank over here. Twitch.tv/Frank Kruger. Did I spell it right?
Who knows? Yeah, nailed it. Good job.
Look at that. Cool. I'll be back streaming on Friday, most likely. Frank on Sunday, question mark?
Yeah. I took this week off just because I'm a loser.
Ooh,
Seahawks
beautiful.
game.
Oh, good. Okay, nice. All right, cool. Well, you'll be back at some point. All right, cool. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.